Approaching the end of our 3-week visit to Alaska, we flew northwest from Anchorage for a 3-day stay in the Nome area on the Bering Sea to explore Alaska's subarctic tundra and search for nesting birds there. Nome, a boomtown of as many as 20,000 during the gold rush of the early 1900s, is now known as the finish line of the Iditarod sled dog race and for many species of migratory birds that pass through or nest nearby. This town, with a present population of 3,700, still has a wild, frontier-like look and feel. Scanning out across the Bering Sea, I spotted 2 dredges, with modern-day gold prospectors hard at work. There are many relics of old mining machinery, beautifully rusted, piled up just outside the town. On a well-exposed old dredge on display, a glaucous gull rests on her nest with a small chick tucked in. And a short-billed gull nesting close by on old machinery. Western and least sandpipers were chirping near the dredge. Redneck phalaropes were in nearby ponds. A pair of red-throated loons, with a single loonlet, were speeding away to safety. On this clear, unusually warm day, we drove the unpaved Nome Council Highway to the east, along the coast where some hardy locals were swimming in the frigid waters of the Bering Sea. At the mouth of the Nome River, we found many short-billed gulls, and a lone Aleutian tern mixed in with a flock of Arctic terns. A few more miles to the east, in a marsh, were tundra swans and shorebirds. Wilson snipes feeding in the shallow water, and a bar-tailed godwit, a species famous for being the longest recorded non-stopped avian flyer, covering 8,400 miles in 11 days. Semi-palmated plover were with young, and a western sandpiper on alert, with 3 chicks running helter-skelter along a path ahead of us. Further along the highway paralleling the shoreline, with rock piles and driftwood coming from rivers to the south in Alaska and Russia, Lapland longspurs, males and females, were running on the road. Short-eared owls were hunting over grassy areas. One perched on a post. We finally reached the last train to nowhere. One more relic of the gold rush era, 44 miles east of Nome. There, rusting engines and machinery, originally in service in New York City pre-1900, have become nesting grounds for redpolls. On the way back, we stopped 20 miles east of Nome at the Safety Roadhouse, a local watering hole and the last checkpoint of the Iditarod. The bartender, an accomplished musher logging many thousand-mile sled dog races, has also authored children's books. At the bar was John Steele, a veteran diver, gold prospector, and writer, and 2 young women taking a break from banding raptor nestlings. The next day we set out on the 73-mile-long Nome-Teller Highway. We traveled in a northwesterly direction for over an hour and a half without seeing another person or vehicle. View of Arctic tundra along the winding dirt road over the permafrost with no trees or buildings, and the Bering Sea to the west. Willow ptarmigan and chicks were on the road. We stopped several times to let them cross. At the roadside was a long-tailed jaeger, a seabird that behaves like a raptor while nesting on the tundra. Finally, the Teller land spit came into view. The town of 250 residents has only a few permanent buildings, along with rudimentary shelters and dwellings. An American robin on guard, with redpolls and sparrows nearby, and seabirds in the distance. On the return journey, a herd of musk oxen leisurely crossed the road. One turned around to say goodbye, and the herd slowly moved away, as we continued back to Nome and soon thereafter to Anchorage to catch our return flight to New York.